Greetings. In this short episode, we will be looking at the second of the three keys of enhancing magical practice, tantric visualization, evocation, invocation, creating God forms. All of these things, the three keys work very strongly with. We've looked at the role of desire. What is it to desire? What is it we actually desire? How do we desire? There are lots of different ways to desire something. What is our motivation? What is our intent? What is it we actually want? And the next stage is, sometimes in Tantra, this is part of the creation stage, the giving form to something. In Tantra, it is often a yidam, a meditation deity. In spellcraft, it can be very often the goal of the spell, the purpose, the outcome of the spell that you are preparing for, enacting, doing, completing. But very often when we do these acts, the result isn't quite what we thought it would be. It's a bit underwhelming or a bit way off from the mark of what it was that we actually were seeking to do. And part of that is because we haven't visualized clearly enough. We haven't visualized correctly. If to want something is great, to know what we want is to have direction. To imagine having it is the completion. What we are looking at the moment is visualization. Now, depending upon the many different traditions, visualization can be arrived at from numerous methods. And that is a right and proper thing because not everyone visualizes in the same way. But regardless of how we visualize, how we arrive at it is one that requires us to have will, to have planning, and to have diligence. For people who video game, the art of visualization comes a little bit easier. For people who cosplay and role play, very often they have the beginnings of visualization because they do it all the time. They give this world that they are playing in reality. They take the time, they work in it, they see it, they think of it. It has a living essence within their stream of consciousness. And this is not arrived at in 5 minutes. Talk to any gamer. I work with teenagers. Trust me, the amount of time they live within the universe of Fortnite means that they have actually created a fairly solid image of what this world is, what it looks like, and are able to enter it within their imagination. Thus, they are able to achieve their goal, which is to get to the next level, to get the next weapon, to get the next wand, to drink from the water, make food. Why? Because they have practiced. They have visualized over and over again, and more importantly, they visualized without grasping. They've done it playfully, and this can be a really powerful thing. If we approach our visualizations with heaviness and seriousness, Yes, we might achieve the goal, but it's going to be a bit of a slog because we're so busy trying to be perfect when there's a need to be playful. The techniques by which we visualize are varied. Dolores Ashcroft Noviki of the Servants of Light, a Wesleyan esoteric order born of the Golden Dawn, advocates the creation of visualization albums. When you're working with something, gather as many pictures as you can of it, look at them, get to know them. And this is, a powerful technique. If you can find CGI of something, then use it. An older technique, which was in a pre-television, pre-gaming universe, within Tantric texts, where you have to create a thought form of a deity. You have the deity image in front of you. You hold it in front of you and you see the image. And you close your eyes carefully, holding the image in your mind, and you turn your head to one side, keeping the image as strong as you can. And if the image disappears, you open your eyes and return back, and you stare at the object and you close it and you turn again until such point that you can hold the image without looking at it, and eventually you can construct the image without it being in front of you. All of these techniques work. What works for you is something you need to play with, but play with it you must, and perfect the skill you must. If you are going to do a prosperity working, what do you mean by prosperity? What does it look like? Is it lots of money? That's nice. How are you going to get it? Where is this money going to come from? If you're going to evoke something, understand that giving it a reality roots it within this universe. But the skill is important. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets. Whether you have an album, whether you have a playlist of wonderful CGI images, whether you go for walks and hang around, lottery ticket kiosks, and you watch and you visualize yourself walking up with the ticket and scanning it, and that wonderful sign comes upon you: major prize winner, please contact the office. If that's what you're going to evoke, you must be able to see it. It must have reality. Does that mean that it has to be exactly the way it is as you see it? Not necessarily. But the point is if you are going to channel your energy towards a goal, whether it's a spell achieving something, a change in the universe that benefits us or someone else, whether it's evoking a spirit animal, a daemon, or a deity, it's all the same. See, you need to be able to visualize clearly the thing it is that you are trying to manifest. Because once that happens, then you have your will focuses even more, and your desire is channeled towards a goal, which is to manifest something that you have formed in your imagination, in your visualization. And if we do not get this skill worked out, then the imagination stage, where we begin to play with the energy, is not as possible. We will get a vague outcome because our visualization was vague. If your spellcraft, if your desire is not clearly defined, then you can't complain if nothing manifests. And if following on from your vague desire, I just want money, I just want love, I just want to see the face of this divinity or that divinity, but we don't, the image isn't living within our stream of consciousness, then how are we meant to connect with the forces of the universe from which these things can be evoked? So I heartily recommend practicing visualization, whether it's focusing on a divinity, till that divinity is real, till that divinity has a reality within your consciousness, so that when you evoke it, when you connect to it through prayer, through spiritual song, through creation of mandalas, the performing of mudras and chants and spells, then because its image is clear, we have given that energy something to anchor it and allow it to manifest before us. A activity that is extremely difficult to do for them as much as for us. But also, if the goal of our spell, we haven't taken the time to visualize it, to see it, to try and experience what it looks, feels, sounds like, and sometimes smells like, then should we really be surprised if, after putting in all this energy, we don't quite get what it was, that it didn't quite work. We got there, but we seem to have missed the mark. And very often the reason we've missed the mark is because we have not created the visualization that allows the forces we are bringing into being to manifest within form, within shape, and within this universe. The principle of prosperity, or the principle of love, is a wonderful thing, but it does need a little window dressing. And in that, you can have some fun, because we can sometimes approach this a little too absolute. And it can lead to all sorts of mental hang-ups, regrets, distractions. But if, when we are doing a working, if when we were doing a meditation, when we're doing an evocation, an invocation, or a spell, or a prayer, and we can see the goal of what it is that we are bringing into being, then it has a power it did not have previously. And so through that process, you are able to turbocharge your magic, or turbocharge your meditation visualizations. They're the same skill. And in so doing, you are able to draw from much deeper wells of power from within you, as well as within the universe, to make that bridge from within to without. And in so doing, bring forth that which we are seeking to manifest. I would recommend daily practice of 5 minutes break, 5 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 times, twice a day to start. But over time it will become easier and easier. And it will become even easier once you let go of the grasping at the goal and just enjoy the process. And in so doing, we open a tap of power that we would be unable to draw from otherwise. So, my prayer is that your visualizations are able to be given form manifest, and that in all you do, joy and beauty robes you at all time. I am Dr. Shimon de Valencia, and I am the Merry Mystic, and I wish you well in your imaginings and success in your evocations and invocations. Namaste.